everyone. It's Black High Priestess. Happy Friday. Let me turn the fan on. All right. All right. Fun Friday. So first off, I want to thank Chantell Benjamin, sweet skin of mine. I'm excited. I did some shopping today, did some barter, some trade, and I have some sweet rose and soulful cinnamon. I'm not sure which is which, but those are the two that she made for me last night. So I just want to thank Chantell Benjamin. Beautiful, great products. Look at the mirror there. Awesome. Great products, highly recommended. She's got great scrubs. She also does make some body butters too. So I will tag her in this. And I'm going to put these away. So I'm pretty excited about that. I did get some more supplies. I got some special black soap. I know it looks like the typical ones, but this is some special one that I go up north for to get from a Nigerian supplier, where I get some supplies to make my my black rose exorcism as well as my red velvet. I've been doing black velvet for autumn, but I'm going to be doing some red velvet tonight and moonbeam as well. So I just wanted to remind everyone to kind of pay it forward. It is still Black History Month. And I think the main thing that we need to do is remember where we come from as Black people in America, understand the effects of slavery that still exist and how to defeat that as individuals and as a unit. So first, it starts with being individuals. It starts with self. Be a solution. Treat other Black people the way you want to be treated, and actively avoid Black people who do not reflect elevation of our race, those who do not reflect Black supremacy. Avoid being stereotypical, avoid making us look bad. And then you will be able to have that self-love and that dignity needed to actually unite with other Black people. A lot of us are carrying self-hatred and have adopted white supremacist ideologies that cause us to mistreat each other. And, so I just want to remind us that the main solution is supporting each other when we do have good things to offer, especially in relationships. There's a lot of Black women who have a lot of good things to offer that Black men won't deal with, simply because they're brainwashed by and programmed by these media programs and video games and TV programs that degrade Black women and have an agenda of interracial dating that is a white supremacist agenda. It's not about solidarity or socialism. The few Black women who do have eligible Black men and Black husbands maintain that. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of reasons Black women have to complain about Black men. There's very few Black women who really have good examples of Black men where you can really say, I love Black men and Black men are great, because that's not the major reality of Black women's experiences. So those of you who do have Black men or who do know Black men who are upstanding and exercising manhood, promote those things, talk about those things, promote those events, promote those products and services, promote those people, or in whatever way you can. Because there's definitely a shortage of Black masculinity, especially in inner cities, or I'll say, where, in my experience, I can't speak for everyone, but I know coming from Chicago, it's very segregated. A lot of history here. In relation to what I'm talking about. But my main message for this is, it's still Black History Month. The best solution is to support Black-owned business, support other people. And, if it don't apply, let it fly. If there's, stereotypes and things and bad business, just avoid it. And, let's try and promote the good, positive things, because we have enough white supremacist media actively making us look bad and not revealing the revolution that is taking place in the Black communities all over the world, all over the globe, but in Chicago as well. You know, buying Black, entrepreneurship, we have to just kind of do that on our own. So we don't have to also keep relying. There's so many, you know, and I am doing a little witches brew, so let me just hurry up and do that as I'm preaching. I'm just going to throw some peppermints in, and what I'm going to do is I saved here like a little cream and a little chocolate, like a chocolate edible that someone gave to me. So I want to just go ahead and kind of try that. It's like a little nice chocolate candy. So I just want to mix that in. It's going to be like a minty, kind of like a minty. But I'm just going to go ahead and let that simmer. And I do have, I also have some butter, a little butter pecan cream. It's going to be like a creamy chocolatey. And then I have some mint chip. I think this is like an organic non-dairy. So I do have that. And then, so this is where a lot of the chocolate's going to come into. And I'm just going to let that simmer in with the rest of it. It's going to be like an Irish cream brew. But I'm going to call it like, I don't know, I'm going to call it Seventh Heaven. Since it's Friday and it's creamy, it's got the chocolate in there, edible in there, so. I was going to call it like Sky High or like Black Russian, but this one I'm just going to call Seventh Heaven. So again, you know, just kind of reminding everyone the best solution: buy Black, spend Black, make the Black dollar bounce. The more Black people support one another, the less our labor and our products and services, and most importantly, our spiritual and ancestral energy will be funneled into white supremacist corporate structures that are, you know, spiritually and physically and economically feeding and draining in a vampiric way Black resources that should be used to build our communities in America and to network with other Black communities abroad that have power structures that Black people in America have been systematically deprived of since slavery. So the cream kind of rose a little bit. I got it in my copper pot. The cream kind of rose up a little bit, so I just had to let it bring it down a little bit in my copper pot there. So it's going to be simmering a little bit more. And I'm just going to add a little cinnamon, nutmeg, and I don't probably need to see how it rises like that. You just got to have to control. I'm probably just going to have to add a little more H2O as well. But again, and if anyone has any questions, let me know. Any questions about anything, spirituality, things like that. But again, the main thing is, you know, there are systems, you know, there's occult systems and structures as well that deal with Black people and the Black populace in the workplace as well. And there are like occult systems, rules and regulations that are put in place to control the Black employees and the Black populace and control the possibilities of Black people uniting. So something I want to warn Black people about is those of you who are in corporate settings, corporate workplaces. One, Black women, I know you got it bad because Black men are programmed to not protect you. They're programmed to glorify white femininity or be homosexual and be something acceptable and manageable for white people who would otherwise fear his dominant masculinity. I know there's a lot of And for black men, have it a little worse when it comes to the hair, I think, because black men who, have long hair and have locks, I think are a little bit more under attack than black women who have locks. Femininity is a little less threatening, but, sisters, just be very careful. Black women, stop giving into the tests that white people give you to see whether or not you are going to stand up for sisterhood, or whether you are going to let your light skin or your mixed racial genetics or whatever privilege that you may have that makes you less threatening than a unapologetically black woman who has dark skin and kinky hair and is not trying to cover that in any way or erase that in any way to be accepted. Those of you who are women of color but who are not black and who have white privileges or tan privileges or mixed privileges or mulatto privileges, that you all are being used as pawns in female competition. And a lot of you are giving into these tests to succumb to taking the side of white supremacy and mulatto imperialism instead of actually standing up for black roots and black women. The way there's a lot of solidarity going on among women of color, in more indigenous settings, where it's not so corporate and we're allowed to express our indigenous spiritualities and the roots and everything. But when it comes to corporate settings, black and brown people don't understand the attack on black people and how brown people, tan people are manipulated into supporting white supremacy instead of supporting the underdog and supporting black people who are naturally oppressed and who are kind of erased and only used for labor and accepted for labor, but not really accepted into the corporate fold. Okay. Spiritually, a lot of you all are being tested to see, are you giving into your white privileges that you get from being lighter skinned or being of color, but not black, not the darkest color, not the realest color, but being a person of color, but still being accepted? Are you giving into these manipulations, people of color? You people in between, you people of color who don't identify as black, who have tan privileges, social privileges because you don't identify as black, or because you are not as threatening as dark-skinned, kinky-haired people. What am I talking about when I say threatening? I'm talking about the scientific experiments that have proven people of all races, sexes, colors, and ages, not just white people, all people. I would venture to say particularly, all people. I speak for America because that's where I live, but all people have an adverse reaction to darker skin, thicker features, kinky hair, those with the West African phenotype. The scientific experiment that shows that the parts of the brain that light up when seeing a black face, a West African phenotype, coined Negroid, a person of Negroid features, that the parts of the brain that light up are the ones of fear, anxiety, even sometimes, I think they said sometimes like anger, the ones that go into survival mode, almost aggressive mode. So it's important for people to understand racism from a scientific perspective as well, not just this social, this political socialism that has really censored us talking about the real issues, the genetic issues and the spiritual issues that are keeping black people oppressed and not effectively defeating the white supremacy that oppresses us. So when we talk about the adverse reactions, that natural genetic, recessive genetic fear and the adopted fear that other black people have of seeing another black person and choosing to reject that in order to be accepted by a greater society that has agreed that black is bad, black is evil, black is negative, and anything associated with black, like voodoo, or in Europe, witchcraft, or Africa, or tribalism, anything associated with black as a color, ethnicity, or energy is bad and negative. This is what black people are really defeating. This is the levels of racism that we're not talking about while we're trying to censor people from saying and speaking their mind. We're not actually talking about the spiritual levels of racism that are destroying black people spiritually. Having to deal with that fear that we invoke in people, that grave energy, the sense of death that has been scientifically proven we invoke in white recessive people. So these are the things that I like to talk about, you know. Let me see what's up with this tea. All right. It's looking good. Just gonna go ahead and raise it a little bit, add a little more water, and it's looking good. Does anyone have any questions? So let's see. All right. Peace, everyone. Peace, everyone. All right. Got some great people here. D to the J. House of Flowers. Please, Nate the Great. Let's see. Koki Yoruba, Joe Jones, and Kwame. My supervisor is a woman who is your complexion. She has done plenty of snake shit to me. I'm viewed as an angry black man at my job despite how light my skin is. And that's thanks to my dark-skinned female supervisor. Well, you know, Kwame, that's why, you know, why I talk about the spirit behind being black, the identifying as black. You are light skinned, yeah, and phenotype, but you also are known in Chicago for being outspoken about racism and the politics and the economics that surround the subject. So you know, that's what I'm encouraging. People who are you being manipulated against